Doesn't mean that A is you know, the direction we want to go, but it seems to be getting a little bit more feedback than B. I think the road issue has been brought up a number of times, so we need to look at how that road impacts this area and whether or not that road can be modified, reduced, changed configuration to create more of a natural corridor along the north edge, maybe bring some of the fields down, whether we can accommodate, you know, soccer activity with 2 or 3 fields yet to be determined. So we can certainly take a look at that. I didn't hear a lot of real positive note about the water park, so we're going to take a look at that and see if we can accommodate. But my guess is that it's one of those items that if we take it out, then we might look at something else, whether it's more picnic area or children's play area. But certainly we have the wherewithal to do those things up here. I got a consensus that people like some of the ideas are showing up here for maybe 1 building versus 2. And again, we looked at that ourselves and that how we accommodated it. Again, when we started this park process, we didn't have the idea that it was going to dictate a community center or an interpretive center. We came up with those ideas because we thought it might lend itself. And a combination of those two might actually work very well. But again, at this point, it's a placeholder, so we can take a look at that. I'm not sure it's in, you know, again, I think the idea of a play area, whether it's wet play or a traditional children's playground, I think the other comments that I think what we talked about is that we have to offer some mid-roll age groups. So some of the senior activities, the kids' activities, you know, this idea of getting kids back to nature is very important to all of us. And whatever we have here, we've got to make sure that we have some nature within the kids. But I think that being said, is there, maybe by showing of hands, and I know this is a risk, but if I were to take those comments back and get a look at this and come up with another scheme, am I going in the right direction with those comments? Raising of hands, yes or no? Yes, raise your hands. No, you don't think so. Okay? So does that mean I'm going in the wrong direction? Raise of hands? Okay, now wait a minute. There's a lot of people that aren't raising your hands. You got to give us some indication of what you'd like to see tonight. So, well, if we take scheme A and we take a look at the things that were brought up tonight and not look at scheme B, it has less impact, as we talked about, there's fewer fields. We look at the arrangements. We begin to look at this more of a base, not the finish, but the base. Am I going in the right direction? Okay.
You're going to need to come back up with C. You're going to need to come back.
No, there's an option C. There's an option D, E, and F too. No, there is a evolution of design that has to take place. I don't deny that. We'll have to do that. But what I need to know is if I could take that, if I were to do that, then I wouldn't be coming back with anything close to this. I'd be coming back with something like this. Now, when I say come back, it really has to go back to the schedule we looked at in terms of how we make that happen. Whether that's at the Community Advisory Committee meeting, or we have another workshop, or however that's set. We'll have to work with the county and see how they want to handle that. But I certainly wanted to come back to our studio with these ideas tonight and come up with something which is the next rendition. It's the next evolution. So I certainly see that happening. And it may look nothing like this. I'm going to try to take what I'm hearing are the best parts that I heard about what people liked here tonight and take it to the next level. There's a little bit of trust here. Okay, you have to trust that we will take that and work with it. Because obviously we need to have the community behind it. It's the first thing I said back in August when talking about building a park is if you don't have a park that's embraced and adopted by the community, it will never succeed. And I mean that sincerely. Yes?
If you want more community, if you want more community buy-in in this, you're going to have to take what we tonight have collectively given you, go back and rechart it again, and then the county's going to have to say, yep, we're going to do another workshop and bring us all back in again, and let us take a look at the next evolution of this phase. I think you're trying to push this and this schedule way too fast after what we've seen tonight. But there's still a lot of folks in this room that want to see a whole lot of changes and additions and modifications to this. And I think that basically you're going to have to put back on some of this back on the drawing board and bring it all back to us again, if that's what the county wants, is our buy-in.
Okay. Well, that's what our job is to do, is to put this back on the drawing board and come up with something that works. So there's no doubt about that. We have a direction, and we need to get there. So it's 9 o'clock, a little after, so we wanted to make this such that it's not a league. So thank you very much for your participation. Thank you for coming out.